Dear students, this video is on class 10, chapter 6, part 18. So in the previous video, we have discussed about the kidney and its function, and we have seen that its function has basically two parts. One is filtration and another is reabsorption. So here we are going to discuss the artificial kidney, and it is also known as hemodialysis. Kidneys are vital organs for survival. That means without the kidney, nobody can survive. Several factors like infections, injury or restricted blood flow to kidneys reduce the activity of kidneys. That means the function of kidney may be reduced by three factors, mainly three factors. Number one is infection. So there may be infection in the kidney. Number two, injury. Number three, restricted blood flow. So these are the main factors for reducing the function of kidney. This leads to the accumulation of poisonous waste in the body, which can even lead to death. So as you know that the main function of kidney is to remove the waste material, that is nitrogenous compounds from the body or blood. So if the function of the kidney is reduced, then there may be accumulation or collection of some waste material in the body, which may lead to death. In case of kidney failure, an artificial kidney can be used. So if anybody's kidney does not work, then he or she can use an artificial kidney. So what is artificial kidney? An artificial kidney is a device to remove nitrogenous waste products from the blood through dialysis. So artificial kidney, it is a device, and this device removes the waste material, that is nitrogenous waste, from the blood through dialysis. So dialysis, it is a solution. We will discuss in this section later on. Artificial kidneys contain a number of tubes with semi-permeable lining suspended in a tank filled with dialyzing fluid. So you can see here, this is the diagram for artificial kidney. You can see that these are the tubes, and these tubes made of selectively permeable membrane. That means this membrane, this tube may allow some of the material to come out, and it will restrict some of the material to go out. That is why this is called selectively permeable membrane. So these tubes are aligned in this way, and there is a tank. You can see there is a tank, and this tank is consist of a dialyzing solution. So you can see this fluid has the same osmotic pressure as blood, except that it is devoid of nitrogenous waste. That means this dialyzing solution has the same osmotic pressure as in the blood, but all the materials is present in this solution except the nitrogenous materials, which should be removed from this blood by this solution. So due to the difference in the pressure, the nitrogenous waste from this blood may be removed. The patient's blood is passed through these tubes. During this passage, the waste products from the blood pass into dialyzing fluid by diffusion. So whenever there is a blood in this tube, due to this osmotic pressure, this dialyzing solution will remove the nitrogenous waste, and it will suspend it, or it will mixed in this solution, and in this way the nitrogenous waste is removed from the blood, and this process is called diffusion. The purified blood is pumped back into the patient. This is similar to the function of the kidney, but it is different since there is no reabsorption involved. So after the removal of the nitrogenous waste, the pure blood is again pushed into the blood through this tube. But this process is somewhat different from the natural kidney. That is, here there is no reabsorption, and it was the main part, one of the main part in the main natural kidney. So there is no absorption involved in this artificial kidney. Normally in a healthy adult, the initial filtrate in the kidneys is about 180 liter daily. That means in the first step, as you know, that there is a filtration method, and after then reabsorption. In the first initial filtrate, there is a huge volume of blood that can be filtrate out, that is 180 liter daily. But remember, however, the volume actually excreted is only a liter or 2 a day, because the remaining filtrate is reabsorbed in the kidney tubules. But the most of the water is again reabsorbed by the tubule which is present inside the kidney, and only 1 liter or 2 liter urine is thrown out by urethra. So next topic is excretion in plants. Plants use completely different strategies for excretion than those of animals. So the excretion method for plants is different. So already we have discussed about the removal of oxygen and carbon dioxide during photosynthesis as well as in respiration. So they use the stomata to remove this oxygen and carbon dioxide. Similarly, the excess water is also removed by the plants by transpiration. For other words, plants use the fact that many of their tissues consist of dead cells, and that they can even lose some parts such as leaves. So plants may consist of different dead cells, a number of dead cells, and which may be removed by removing or by fall of some parts, that is leaves. Many plant waste products are stored in cellular vacuoles. So some of the waste material may also stored in the vacuoles. Waste products may be stored in the leaves that fall off, and the waste material may also be stored in the leaves and that leaves are fall off. Other waste products are stored as resins and gums, especially in old xylem. So other waste material may be stored as resins and gums. So you have seen some of the materials, some liquid materials, black color or some transparent color may be removed time to time from the plants, and these are stored in the old xylem. Plants also excrete some waste substances into the soil around them. Plants also remove the waste material in the soil where they are connect with the soil. So this is all about this topic as well as this chapter. I hope you understood the chapter very clearly. If you have any question, you can ask in our WhatsApp group. Thank you.